Welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson. I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. So a question that I get asked a lot is, how long does it take to overcome anxiety? And it's not I don't have a timetable of how long it could take for you to overcome your anxiety, because it all depends on the person, and every single person is going to be different with their own, baggage that they have and their own experience and their own life and how they grew up and how they deal with things, that it all depends on the person's actions. So whenever somebody asks me, whenever I'm doing one-on-one coaching, they ask me how long it's going to take. I'm like, listen, it all depends on you, and it depends how much effort and how much actions you're actually putting into it, because you could be doing certain things that you're going to feel comfortable with, and that's going to get you to a certain point, but there's other things that you might need to do that's going to get you where you want to be, but that's going to take some time, of course, and there is no timetable to give you that, it's going to take 6 months or it's going to take a year. It all depends on you. Now, of course, if you're continuously working on it, you could come out of it pretty quickly, of course. But again, most of us, we're not going to be able to do that, and it's going to take us some time. Like for me, it took me a good 3 years to overcome my anxiety. 3 years of going those ups and downs and 8 months of severe anxiety. And it was a very difficult thing to go through, of course. And I know a lot of us, we want it right now. We want it to be gone this second. Like, I want this thing out of my life, which I definitely understand. I know where you're coming from, and it's not an easy thing definitely to experience and to go through, and especially when nobody's understanding you and you seem like you're going to be stuck like this for the rest of your life and you want some answers. But I don't want to give you guys false hope that tells you, you know what? You're going to be overcoming it in the next 3 months. Or you know what? In the next year, you're going to overcome it. No, it all depends on the actions that you do, because there are going to be certain points where you're going to be afraid to do things. You are going to be afraid to try it out. Like, for example, I used to be terrified of going on public transportation whenever I was experiencing anxiety. Beforehand, I would go all the time. But I was terrified to go on it whenever I was experiencing anxiety. That was one of my fears. To being alone, being in public, and being in a closed place would freak me out. So what I had to do was that I had to go on the bus. I had to try it out in order for me to overcome and heal my anxiety, because I realized that the things that I have done to try to control my anxiety and calm it down is great. It really is, but it's not getting me to the point where I want to live anxiety free. It's not getting to the point where I can actually build back my confidence, where I was just able to go and do things like I once did. And I know whenever I was going through anxiety, I would remember, even in general beforehand, before I experienced an anxiety disorder, I would always still be nervous being in, let's say, in the subway in New York City. I'd be terrified to go on the subway, because especially during rush hour, it is packed, jam-packed. And if your train gets stuck, oh man, that's like the worst. You're standing up there for at least 30 minutes until the train starts to move again. It's very, very annoying. Sometimes it's less, of course, but it's just used to cause me anxiety, and I never realized it. Until I experienced an anxiety disorder, and then I became more aware about it. But still, I had to try it out. I had to do it, and I wasn't ready. That's the thing. A lot of us, we want to feel ready. We want to feel ready to be able to handle the anxiety that's going to come with the situation that's going to trigger our anxiety. So, for example, if somebody is afraid of going to the mall because it triggers their panic attacks, right? They need to start working towards being in the mall. Now, of course, you want to take baby steps, but we want to get there. We want to prepare ourselves mentally. We can do some visualization techniques so that we can see it beforehand happening and how to deal with it. We can do certain things so that we can prepare ourselves, that we don't have to go everything in one shot. Like I did everything in one shot. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put all myself in, and we're going to see what's going to happen. And of course, I was freaking out the entire time, but I was talking to myself to try to calm myself down and relax myself. And that did help. We have to start talking to our anxiety and stop listening to it, because my anxiety the entire time is like, oh, Emmanuel, you're going to get a panic attack. Oh, Emmanuel, you're going to freak out right now. You're going to have a panic attack in front of everybody. You're going to faint. What's going to happen? Or what if something happens in the bus? Or what if, I used to have crazy thoughts. Like, what if it explodes? How do you, like a lot of thoughts would get me anxious, and I would start panicking. I'd start hyperventilating. But what I did is that I changed the narrative. I started to talk to myself and tell myself things to help myself to calm down. So we need to put ourselves out there in certain places that causes us anxiety. And the reason why I tell you this is because we need to do the exposure to it so that we no longer are controlled by our anxiety, so that we have the control. Because right now, our anxiety is controlling us. It's controlling us, telling you not to go here or do this or go do that. It's controlling us. We are not in control, and that makes us feel powerless, and that takes away our confidence. We don't feel as confident then. But whenever we go out, when you start working towards that goal in overcoming our anxiety and exposing ourselves and showing that we're not afraid, and even though we are, but we're pushing ourselves to that point, we will start building our confidence and start feeling much better. But again, it all depends on us, because you are never going to feel like it's the right time to heal your anxiety. You are never, ever going to feel that way, ever. It's not going to happen, because your anxiety is trying to protect you, and it's perceiving that place or that situation as dangerous. And one of the best ways is putting yourself in that situation and walking yourself through it. And listen, if it's hard for you to do it, then get a coach. Get somebody who can walk you through it, that can help you with it, that can stand by you, that can support you, that is going to help you. And even with that, you will still feel anxiety. You will still feel those emotions, but you have somebody to guide you through it and help you to calm down quicker. That is really going to help you and improve your anxiety tremendously. Because at the end of the day, we want to get to the goal of being anxiety free, and it's never going to be the right time. And the anxiety doesn't just disappear. It doesn't one day say, okay, you know what, let's get up and let's leave. It's never going to do that. We need to be proactive in overcoming our anxiety and healing it. That is the key. That is the thing. And I always tell people, whenever they contact me, like, oh, I've been struggling with anxiety, do you have any tips? I always ask them, always ask them, what have you been doing so far? What have you been doing so far to fight your anxiety? What have you been doing? And they would tell me, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And they'll tell, okay, you know what? This is what we need to change over here. Or what are you not doing? Because that's another question we need to ask. What am I not doing? Maybe there's other things out there that can help me, because what I've been doing so far hasn't been helping me. Why am I still struggling with anxiety for such a long time? And that's something I ask myself. Okay, why am I struggling with anxiety for such a long time? Maybe I'm not doing something right. And thankfully, I stumbled all upon the answer of how to overcome and heal my anxiety so that I no longer have to experience it. Because most of the people are not going to give you that information of like, or maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know, because the people that I got in contact with, that the one person that I knew that went through an anxiety disorder back then that really helped me, he didn't even know what the solution was. He would give me tools and techniques and heal certain things in the past, but there was much more to it. I had to develop myself in so many different aspects that was going to help me, because I had to rebuild myself because I got destroyed. So I had to work on myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. There's so many different aspects to it that helped me to get to that point where I'm being anxiety free. And of course, some of it is putting yourself in those situations and pushing yourself in doing things that are going to make you comfortable. Because if you are comfortable, and I know anxiety and panic attacks are not a comfortable thing, but if you are comfortable, you are not going to be able to move forward with this and be able to overcome it. You can work on the mindset and everything to get you to that point to be ready. Now, I'm not saying to go jump in it right now. Maybe you can work on your mindset and work on your emotional mindset and work on your spirituality, your physicality, so that eventually you get to that point that we start building and get to that point where we feel a little bit more comfortable, but we're not going to be 100% comfortable. We're never going to be 100% comfortable, but we're going to be to that point where we feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more prepared. That is going to benefit you, of course. Because now you have the mindset of being able to handle that. So at the end of the day, guys, there is no timetable of how long it's going to take you to overcome and heal your anxiety. It all depends on you. It all depends on the actions that you're doing. It all depends on how much you're investing in yourself to overcome and heal your anxiety. It can be for 6 months. It can be up to a year. It can be 3 years. It can be 15 years. It all depends on you at the end of the day and what you actually are doing. Because at the end of the day, anxiety doesn't just disappear. It doesn't walk away. And I know a lot of people that they told me like, oh, my anxiety just went away, but it came back. I don't understand why. And then I explained to them why it came back. The reason why it came back is because you haven't developed yourself. That's the reason why. Because if you have developed yourself, you'll see your anxiety will never come back. That is the key over there, to develop yourself in the right way. Yes, anxiety might reduce, but it will come back if you don't develop yourself in the right way. If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks. And as well, it doesn't make you feel drowsy. It doesn't make you feel sleepy. And it helps you to just feel calm so you can actually do things throughout the day like work, drive, go out, and do whatever you like in a more calmer state of mind, as well as not addictive or has any side effects or any withdrawals, which this way can actually help you to heal your anxiety and get you to the destination in overcoming your anxiety much quicker. You can click the link that's in the description. It would say Calmly CBD to place your order today. And then right now it's on sale for a limited time where you can buy one and get the second one free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.